How's it going, everyone? I'm your girl, Gabrielle, and you're watching Influenced. I am so happy that you're here. What can you expect to see? Well, this series will highlight some of the most impactful influencers on Instagram, where they will talk about their journey, share their story, and give advice on starting a personal brand from the ground up. I cannot wait to have candid conversation with strong, powerful women regarding the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs of this new but explosive industry. It seems that everyone wants to be an influencer today, and that can sometimes make it hard to stand out. But each woman that I have on this show will most definitely stand out in her own unique way. So think of this as your central hub where you can come to find your favorite influencers on Instagram or discover new ones. By the end of each interview, you will have a better idea of who the woman behind the brand is, behind the post, behind the camera. You will find out who influences them and why they choose to influence all of us every day. I am constantly inspired by these powerful, creative entrepreneurs who are paving their own future while using their platform and voice to do good. This is Influenced. I am now joined by artist, dancer, roller skater, overall performer, Keon Saghari, aka Neon Keon. Hi.
Hi.
I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here too.
Finally sitting down on the couch.
I know.
We have so much to discuss. I want to start with dance.
Mm-hmm.
Take me back to the beginning. How old were you when you fell in love with dance?
Yeah, so I started dancing when I was about 3 years old. My sister started baby ballet. We would go take her to the studio and I would see her in there, and I wanted to join the fun. So at the time I wasn't allowed to be in the class because the cutoff age was about 5. But I kept running into the class. I kept crying and begging my mom to just please let me go in. And finally, the teacher said, okay, we can let her in when she turns 3. So I was the youngest student in the class.
Wow.
But I loved it. Just moving, connecting to music, being in my body. I think even at such a young age, I could feel already that that was the way that I wanted to express myself.
Yeah.
So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's when I started.
So, and then how did you turn your love and passion for dance into a passion for skating? Like, tell me about that transition.
Once I chose dance, I never stopped choosing dance. So my whole life, it just kept evolving with the styles that I was doing. So I pretty much started with ballet, then was really into tap, jazz, hip hop, lyrical. I was doing more competition style dancing as I was growing up. Yeah. And then around 12, I was really thinking ahead about my future, and I decided that having something a little more stable and concrete as a career path would be beneficial for me. But simultaneously, I fell in love, really fell in love with ballet deeply. So I moved over to a classical ballet school, and I really put my focus into that in hopes of joining a ballet company. So pretty much at the end of high school, my goal was to be in a ballet company, but there were other plans in store for me. And instead of doing that, I ended up going to university. And I got
That's also amazing.
Yeah, it was a good choice now in retrospect. But I got my BFA in dance, and it was in college that I transitioned more out of ballet and got into contemporary and modern dance. Yeah. So I took off my pointe shoes and I ended up just being barefoot. And yeah, for me, modern dance lended itself a little more to my body type and the style of movement that I wanted to do. Yeah. And with ballet, as much as I loved it, I did feel very restricted in myself. And not only with who I was, but also with the way I looked. I felt like I couldn't really be free. Yeah, being in ballet, I really had to fit a mold, really specific mold. And after a while, I was feeling very distant from my true self. Yeah. And so transitioning to modern and contemporary dance was a way for me to be able to be more free with not only my appearance and embracing my natural look, but also with movement. Just like a lot more freedom in modern dance in general versus ballet, which is very placed and specific technique. and was living up in San Francisco. Started performing with some different companies up there. Started touring nationally, internationally, getting a lot of experience, performing with amazing dancers, working with really great choreographers, and just building my network and my love of dance. And pretty much this whole time I had 100% support from my family, which is super important. Yeah. And I'm eternally grateful to my family for their support in my dance journey. Pretty much it got to a point where I was just ready for a change. I had left a company that ended up not being a very positive experience. And when that was done, I needed to leave San Francisco. And so I moved to LA, and I decided, you know what, I'm done trying to perform on a stage with a certain aesthetic that needs to be met. And I wanted to go commercial and be in film and TV open the doors to a whole new pathway. But LA is a really, really difficult city and industry to penetrate, especially once you're older. So I was approaching 30 at the time that I moved here. And so I was struggling. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was hard. It was 2 years of insane hustle, working multiple jobs, completely exhausted, but somehow still finding a way to get to the audition, to get to class, to get my face out there. And it really ran me down completely. Destroyed me, I would say. I got to the point where I didn't even feel like dance was giving me the same joy it used to. The struggle for money, the struggle for survival, the struggle to prove that I had something worthy to share was really breaking my spirit. And I decided I needed to retire.
Which takes a lot.
It took a lot. It pretty much took me a year to become okay with that. And I was realizing I was having an identity crisis. You know, who is Keon if she's not a dancer? So I told myself, okay, if I'm gonna make this transition, let me make it a little easier by finding other ways to move my body that aren't dance, but can still help me feel good, feel grounded, and express myself. So
that's how skating came.
That's how skating came. I started trying a bunch of different things. I started bouldering. I started kind of running. I really don't like running, but I tried it and started skating. That was one of the other things, and it just stuck. And I had zero expectations with it too. No intention of making it my career, because I thought I was going to be transitioning out of dance and movement and performance. But I think that's a part of why it ended up becoming what it did, because I really put no expectations or pressure on it. I just allowed myself to enjoy it.
Definitely. That's a good point. Yeah. So what inspired you to start creating skating content? You know, you didn't put any pressure on it. You just kind of were doing it. So what inspired you to do it?
I mean, I honestly just wanted to share it with my friends and family at home because they weren't seeing me skate, but they started hearing more and more about skating. Oh, Keon, where are you going? I'm going to the rink. Oh, Keon, what are you doing this weekend? I'm skating at Venice Beach. I mean, it all of a sudden became this thing that was filling up all of my time. I decided that I just wanted to share what I was doing with my mom mostly. I wanted her to see what I was up to down here. So I just started posting some videos, honestly, of me just vibing and not really caring about how it looked or what people were gonna think about it. Because with dance, I was hyper focused on how it looked and how it would come across and how people would interpret it. But with skating, I honestly didn't care.
Free and
it was super free. I was moving in a new way, and I felt like truly I could be myself 100%. So I think more than anything, I was excited to share an authentic version of myself.
That's great.
And at the time, I mean, I really only my closest friends and family were following me. And so it was for them. It really was for them.
We'll get more into how that following grew, because I do have questions about that. But what can people expect to find when they come to your Insta?
Definitely a lot of roller skating.
It's amazing.
Also dance. So I am dancing again, even though I stepped away from it for a little while. I really needed that break. But Yeah, you'll definitely see dance content, you'll see skating content, but I would say more than anything, you would see me being very transparent and honestly not showing a perfect version of myself. I hope that when people come to my Instagram, what they really see is someone they want to be friends with.
Which I saw. No, because
Yeah.
it's true. Like Instagram it's a highlight reel.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing that, but then we are seeing some raw content and people really just being themselves, and I think that's so important.
I want to connect with someone who has a completely different lifestyle from me, because there's one thing that they sense, oh, I have that in common with this person, or I had a similar thought to this person. You know, so honestly, genuinely, I want to make friends. And when people come up to me who know that, you know, they've seen my content and they follow me, it truly is an incredible moment, because I love feeling connections with people, and I love connecting through movement and inspiring people through movement. So yeah, hopefully they just see a lot of inspiration and it gets them to feel something or do something in their own life or day-to-day experience.
That's what I felt when I came to your page. I'm serious.
Oh, good.
What is your favorite kind of music to skate to? Skate to all different kinds.
Yes. Honestly, it depends on my mood and it depends on the day.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a list, but I love, of course, dance music. House music is some of my favorite. Afro beats.
So fun.
Also the best. Reggaeton is excellent on most days. There's also a style of music called Amapiano, which is a South African dance style of music, which is really vibey and I get really lost in it. So I love that. Something to look up later.
Yeah, no,
maybe.
I'm going to.
And then of course disco. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, you make it look so easy. You glide so effortlessly. It's like you're literally on water. So it's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously. So do you have any tips or tricks for people who are looking to learn? What would be your number one tip?
Number one tip is you have to be okay with falling. You have to be okay with it, especially when you're first starting. Accept that your ass is going to be on the floor.
Yeah.
And the more comfortable you get with that, practice falling. Practice being on the floor and how you're going to get up. Because it's going to happen and you just have to accept it and let go completely. The more you let go when you're skating, the more you find your flow with it. Every time I realize I'm holding on to something really tightly, I have to let it go in order for it to
flow.
For it to flow, for it to go and then come back, you know? So
totally.
For me, falling is actually very successful because it means that you have pushed yourself. It means that you're finding your limits and you're learning. And once you fall, then you know, oh, okay, this is what I need to do differently. And then you progress.
Definitely. Any other exciting projects or sneak peeks possibly that you can share with us? Anything?
I can maybe share a little something. It's still in the works and being figured out and put together, but I am hoping to have a teaching tour that I'm going to launch when my schedule opens up a little bit more. So I do want to travel and, like I said, really make those in-person real connections with skaters, non-skaters. I mean, honestly, anyone and everyone.
And I think people would really want to learn.
There are so many talented skaters and teachers out there that there's many people you can learn from. And I feel like the more you learn from and the more people you get to engage with and experience with, it only adds more to you. And also it's an exchange. Like, it's definitely not just a one-way thing. I also gain a lot from being in a new city, meeting new people, seeing the way other people move. I mean, selfishly, I want to learn from people that I meet and students that I work with and other skaters. You know, to me, we're all peers and we're just in the space together. And here's something I want to give to you.
I don't even think that's selfish. That's a give it. It's a, you teach me something, I'll teach you something.
Yeah,
I think we can all learn that from anyone.
Yeah,
I agree.
and we all learn from each other, honestly. So
Let us
that's
know
coming
when that
soon.
happens. Okay,
Yes.
guys, stay tuned. How have you grown your following and expanded your Neon Keon brand?
Well, I'll just preface by saying that I really had no intention of growing my following. It just happened.
Organically.
It happened
love.
organically, yeah. It was pretty much at the start of the pandemic, was around the time that I started posting my videos. I had already been skating for about a year,
Okay.
but that's when I finally felt ready to share what I've been up to.
Yeah.
But anyway, so some of my videos just got a lot of views
they
and
went
started
viral,
going
yeah.
viral. And so from that virality, the followers started coming in. It just made me excited to keep sharing content. So really what I did was stay consistent.
Yeah.
Just like how I was staying consistent with skating, I was staying consistent with sharing, mostly because I saw how happy it made other people. Literally, they were saying they were living vicariously through me, because it was at a time in life where things were really scary, really unknown, and people were inside at home.
Yeah.
But I was blessed enough to be living somewhere where I could be outside at the beach, roller skating, enjoying the sun, enjoying some fresh air. And yeah, so I wanted to keep helping people feel good. Like,
That's so
honestly,
nice.
for me, skating was medicine. And then I saw my videos were that same type of medicine. So I wanted to fill the prescription and keep it coming.
I love that. Well said.
So helping people feel something positive through my movement has been my dream.
I love that.
So the fact that that was happening, it kept encouraging me to keep going.
Right.
So the more I was posting, the more the followers came. And as all of that was happening simultaneously, then job opportunities started coming in. And I would have been crazy to pass up an opportunity to be paid for something that I love to do.
Right. What would you say is your biggest piece of advice to young women looking to start their own brand or create their own content? How do you set yourself apart from others?
Make sure it is something that you feel you can be your most authentic self within. I noticed in my career, anytime I was trying to be something that I really was not, it just wasn't working. You know, I would see some success, but it would stop, or internally it was eating me up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So with something like skating, for me personally, I could arrive fully myself. So first thing, make sure that you're not trying to be someone else, trying to look like someone else, but that you really are able to tap into your worth, into your true identity, because that is, the more you are yourself, the more others will sense that and will be drawn to it, and then also will want to be themselves. And to me, that's the most beautiful thing in life, is for us to all just be ourselves. And then kind of like with skating, stay consistent with it. You're gonna hit hurdles.
Of course.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna have to push through difficulties, and the waves are gonna crash, but just know that if you push through that, you're gonna continue learning about yourself. You're gonna continue finding what works, what doesn't work. And the more that you're in motion, the more the ripples will fan out, you know? And as you move, things will happen. So you just honestly cannot give up on yourself. Once you tap into your worth and you know what you have to offer, then you can back yourself 100%.
Definitely.
And once you have that confidence truly from within, and it's not just coming from an outside source, then you soar. So there's no stopping you once you're
that makes a lot of sense
in that place.
Yeah, no, it's great advice.
Yeah.
Who do you hope to influence every day?
Oh, honestly, myself.
Like that answer, yeah.
The more I can influence and inspire myself, then the more I can engage in my life and in the world. And I honestly only hope to inspire through my own actions.
I really
You know,
like
I
that.
never want to tell someone what to do or to, you know, say this is the way and this is what you know, I want to lead by my own example and practice what I preach, which I don't really preach much, to be honest, but you know, but just with myself to practice what I preach. So yeah, I myself, and also someone who is a complete opposite of me. You know, I think that's the one of the coolest things, is someone who does something completely different, lives in a completely different lifestyle or part of the world, but we can connect on one thing, whether it's a similar passion or whether it's a similar way of thinking or even just one outlook on life.
Right.
To bring opposites together is, to me, one of the most magical things that can happen.
Definitely, opposites attract.
Yeah, opposites attract. It is a thing. But that also really inspires me to see the way other people live and see the way other people, you know, approach their life.
Who influences you?
Honestly, anyone who is unapologetically themselves, it really does influence and inspire me. When I see someone who really gives no f***s, you're just like, you know what?
Yeah.
It makes you feel something.
Totally.
Even if it's something you don't fully agree with, okay, let's just put that aside for a moment. Just seeing someone truly just own it, own themselves, own their life, own their thoughts. It makes you feel, okay, if they're doing that, I can do that too, you know, and I should do that too.
Definitely.
Because as long as you're not hurting anyone and as long as you are, you know, of course, spreading love to a certain extent, own it. Just own it. Be you. I have a couple people in my life who've passed, and they inspire me every single day. The fact that they have lived a life unapologetically and that they are no longer here, I am inspired and influenced by them to keep living my life as fully and deeply and passionately as I possibly can. I recently lost my grandpa.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. He lived a long, beautiful, amazing life.
That's important.
But yeah, I just recently lost him. I lost my father 10 years ago.
I'm sorry.
And I lost one of my really, really close friends a couple years ago.
It's a lot of loss.
Yeah, it is, and it isn't.
Right.
You know, I mean, life is loss. So I'm at a place with loss that it actually, it can help me, actually connect even deeper to myself.
That's a good way to see it, yeah.
And so, yeah, I am really influenced and inspired by those people that are no longer here and that I get to live for.
Right. And they're seeing all the great things you're doing.
Yeah, they are.
I do believe that. So that's beautiful. I love that answer. To wrap this up, what does it mean to you personally to be an influencer? Like, what is that title? What does that name mean to you?
Well,
because you do influence people.
Yes.
Positively.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I take it with a lot of honor. When I hear that, you know, my whole thing is I never ever want to make anyone feel less than. You know, the only thing I want is for people to feel like they get to live a life that they dream of. And if my dreams coming true can help everyone realize that their dreams can come true, then I take the title of influencer with complete pride and joy. Sure, you come to my page and you see the way I do things, but it's not the only way. And you know, we do pick our best moments, but I think there is also a lot to say about being transparent and open, especially on social media, to show that there is another side, as there is in life, and to help remind people that with the joy, with the dream also comes sadness, also comes struggle, also comes fighting, also comes resilience, also comes growth, pain with growth, suffering, but pushing through the suffering. You know, I mean, it's not all just rosy,
rainbows, butterflies,
sunshine, all of that. Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, it's all of it. And I hope to keep that at the forefront because that's what's raw and real. And when we influence each other, it has to be raw and it has to be real. Otherwise, it's not genuine.
Exactly. and you are definitely so raw and so real in the best possible way.
Thank you.
And this has just been the best chat.
Oh,
and
thank you
for I mean, this was so great. I learned, so much about you, and I loved getting your insight on all of this, and your answers so thoughtful.
Amazing.
And thank you, Keon.
Thanks
for
having
being
me,
here.
Gabrielle. Thank you.
You can all find Keon, if you haven't done so already, at Young Keon on social media. You'll see everything from Keon skating through the LA streets and boardwalks and all of that. I mean, you're skating everywhere. You guys have to check out her content. It's really beautiful. You won't be disappointed. And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Influenced. Be sure to follow along at influence.the series on social, like and share this video with your friends, and be sure to comment and tag your favorite influencers down below if you want to see them as a guest on the show. I'm your host, Gabrielle Bailenson, and I'll see you guys later. We did it. It was so great. Thank you. Really. Thank you for your patience, and I know there was a lot going on today in the studio, but we did it. We did it. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah, if you can carve out this music.
It's okay.
Is it
All
Michael
good.
Jackson now?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
We're just gonna keep rolling. Keep
Yeah.
rolling.
No,
on the
it's all
skates.
good.
Oh God. Oh God.
We got to put that in there.
My puns.
The skate puns are coming. I've been
They're
waiting.
coming. That video.
I'm so sorry. I just got a little bit distracted.
Oh no, that's okay.
I'm gonna go down.
He's trying to leave the door.
Are you serious? Are we locked in?
There we go.
I can walk both ways multiple times. I guess it's loose. You're not going right now?
Okay, well, let's
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. That was great. That was a great way to.
Thanks so much for watching Influenced. Be sure to click the subscribe button right here. And if you want more Influenced interviews, click right here. Don't forget to like and share this video. And also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. See you guys later.